noticed how AI seems to be, well, popping up just about everywhere these days? It's on your phone, kind of hidden in apps, maybe even helping out with homework. Feels a bit like magic sometimes, right? But what if all this amazing tech comes with some surprising hidden costs? Today, we're doing a deep dive into the, let's say, the true footprint of artificial intelligence. We've gathered a bunch of sources, articles, some research papers, our own notes looking at how AI is impacting things, specifically its energy and water use. Our mission here is to unpack these pretty surprising facts and help you understand what AI's growing appetite really means for you and, well, for the planet. So AI, it can feel really futuristic, maybe even a little spooky sometimes, always listening. But what is artificial intelligence really like at its core? And why is everyone suddenly talking about it right now?
That's a great question to start with because, AI isn't actually new. The idea has been around since the 1950s. It's gone through these cycles. We call them AI winters and AI summers.
Winters and summers, like hot and cold.
Exactly. An AI winter is when progress slows down, funding dries up a bit, maybe the tech didn't quite deliver on the big promises. An AI summer, like now, is when there are breakthroughs. Everyone gets excited again. And we are definitely in a massive AI summer right now, especially with something called generative AI.
Right, generative AI, that's the term I keep hearing. What makes that different?
Good question. So think of older AI maybe recognizing a cat in a photo. Generative AI. It can create a photo of a cat that never existed. It means AI that can make new things, write stories, compose music, have conversations like ChatGPT does. It generates stuff.
Ah, okay, so it's like a creator.
Precisely. It's incredibly exciting, tons of potential. But yeah, because it's so powerful, we really need to think critically about, the real world impacts.
Okay, so if we're in an AI summer, I bet things are getting pretty hot, literally, maybe, on the energy side. What do we know about the power costs?
Yeah. Got that right. It's definitely heating things up. And it's actually tricky to measure exactly. AI processes are distributed. That means the computing doesn't happen in one place, it's spread out. So pinning down the exact energy use is tough. But the International Energy Agency, the IEA, they made some pretty big estimates. Back in 2022, data centers, that's where the computers live, plus crypto mining and AI, already used almost 2% of global electricity.
2% of the whole world's power. That sounds like a lot already.
It is. But here's the kicker. That demand, it could double by 2026.
Double.
Yeah, double, which would make it roughly equal to the electricity used by the entire country of Japan.
Japan, wow. That's huge. An entire industrialized country just for AI and data centers.
Pretty much imagine every light, every factory, every train in Japan.
Yeah.
That amount of power, it's immense.
Okay, Japan is massive. Can you, break that down smaller? Something I can maybe wrap my head around? What about when I use it?
Absolutely. Let's take training a big AI model, like OpenAI's GPT-3. That's one of the systems behind ChatGPT. Just teaching that model. That used nearly 1,300 megawatt hours of electricity.
Okay, megawatt hours. Still sounds big.
It is. Think of it like this. That's about the same amount of electricity used by 130 average U.S. homes for an entire year.
Whoa, so training one AI is like powering a whole neighborhood for a year?
Basically, yeah. Or think about searching online. A normal Google search takes maybe 0.3 watt hours. Tiny amount. But asking ChatGPT a question, that takes about 2.9 watt hours.
Okay, so that's nearly 10 times more.
Almost 10 times, just for one query.
Yeah.
For comparison, remember those old light bulbs, the incandescent ones that got really hot? I used maybe 60 watt hours. So asking ChatGPT one thing is like leaving that old bulb on for, almost 3 minutes?
Huh, okay.
And imagine if all searches there are like 9 billion a day were done using something like ChatGPT. That would boost electricity demand by 10 terawatt hours a year. That's enough power for about 1.5 million people in the EU for a year.
So it's really not just digital smoke and mirrors. Every time we use AI, even for something quick, there's a real, physical energy cost happening somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And here's something else. Switching from an older AI method to a generative one for the exact same task, that can use 30 to 40 times more energy.
30 to 40 times, just to get maybe a more creative answer.
Or just to use the newer tech. It's a huge jump in how much computation, how much energy it needs.
Okay, wow. That is a lot of energy. So where does it all go? What's the actual physical stuff that needs building to support AI? And why does it need so much juice?
Right. So all this digital stuff, we use your cloud storage like Google Drive, streaming music, and definitely AI. It all needs a physical home.
Yeah.
These homes are called data centers. Think massive warehouse-sized buildings, just packed floor to ceiling with computers, servers. Now, just storing data, like on a thumb drive, that doesn't use much power. Static storage. But connected storage, like being able to search your Google Drive instantly from anywhere, that takes more energy because it has to be ready connected. But the real energy hogs inside these places. Special computer chips called GPUs.
GPUs? Wait, I thought those were for video games, like making the graphics look amazing.
They are. You're totally right. That's where they started. But it turns out they're perfect for AI too. Think of a regular computer chip, a CPU, maybe like an electric car. Really fast, efficient for one specific thing, one task after another.
Okay.
A GPU is more like a giant semi-truck. It's designed to do tons and tons of smaller calculations all at the same time. Parallel processing.
Ah, like multitasking on a massive scale.
Exactly, which is just what AI needs for training and running these huge models. But like a semi-truck, it takes a lot more gas, energy
Yeah.
to run. And these AI models need tens of thousands of these GPUs.
Tens of thousands
Yeah.
in one place.
Spread across data centers, yeah. And one common AI chip, like NVIDIA's H100, at peak, it can pull 700 watts.
700 watts. Isn't that like a small appliance? Like my air fryer or something.
Pretty close. Now imagine thousands of those air fryers running full blast 2047 for a year. That adds up incredibly fast. The power for just one of those high-end servers over a year can match a typical American household. Scale that up. You're powering a small city.
Wow.
And it's kind of a vicious circle. Each new generation of GPU is way more powerful, but it also uses more energy. And researchers want to build bigger, smarter AI models, so they need more and more of these power-hungry chips. Plus, AI models like ChatGPT, they're basically always on, waiting.
Right, waiting for my next question.
Exactly. And there are two main jobs AI does, inference and training.
Right.
Inference is when you use the AI, like asking ChatGPT that question. The AI is inferring the answer based on what it learned.
Okay, that's the day-to-day use.
Right. Then there's training. That's the teaching phase, feeding it just massive amounts of data, text, images, whatever, so it learns the patterns. Training might only be, say, 20% of the total work the AI does over its life, but it is by far the most energy-intensive part. All those thousands of chips working at maximum capacity, sometimes for weeks or months.
That makes sense. My phone gets pretty warm, sometimes even hot, if I play a graphics-heavy game or stream video for a long time. Do these huge data centers have the same problem? Getting hot?
Oh, incredibly hot. You've got thousands of those GPU air fryers running full tilt in enclosed spaces. Heat is a massive issue.
So how do they deal with that? Big fans.
Fans, yes, but often it's not enough, especially for the densest setups. They often need water cooling, circulating water to pull the heat away. The more powerful chips you pack together higher density, the more intense the cooling needs to be, and often the more water it requires. It's like the computer needs a constant drink to stay cool.
Okay, water. How much water are we actually talking about? Like if I ask ChatGPT a few questions, is that using water somewhere?
It is, yeah. And the amounts are, well, kind of surprising. Some research suggests that for every 10 to 50 prompts you give to ChatGPT, so maybe short conversation, it can effectively use the amount of water in a standard 16-ounce water bottle, mostly through evaporation in cooling towers at the data center.
A water bottle for like 30 questions?
Okay. And then look at training again. Training GPT-3, just in Microsoft's U.S. data centers. That process directly evaporated around 700,000 liters of fresh water.
700,000 liters. That sounds like a lot. Like swimming pools.
Yeah, that's enough to fill a couple of Olympic-sized swimming pools, just for training one model, one time. And looking globally, the demand from AI could push water withdrawal up to maybe 4.2 to 6.6 billion cubic meters by 2027.
Billion. With a B. How much is that?
That top estimate is more than 4 times the total amount of water used by everyone in Denmark in an entire year.
4 times Denmark's water use. Just for AI cooling. Wow. And
Is this just any water, or is it like clean water?
Yeah, that's a really important point. It needs to be clean, often fresh water. You can't just pump river water directly onto sensitive electronics. It needs to be treated, filtered, very pure to avoid corrosion or mineral buildup. So often it's drawn from the same sources we rely on for drinking water, for agriculture, for daily life.
okay, so it's competing for potentially scarce resources.
It can be, yes. For instance, there's a town, the Dalles in Oregon. Google has data centers there. Reports say they consume something like a quarter of the entire city's water supply.
A quarter for one company's buildings.
Yeah. And in places like Chile and Uruguay, which have faced water stress, there have actually been public protests against building new data centers because people are worried about the water consumption.
Okay, so it's not just the huge energy use and now this massive water use, but how does all this concentrated, intense demand affect the regular power grid, the electricity coming to our homes.
Ah, this is where it gets really interesting and maybe a bit concerning for everyone. You probably don't think about it, but your electricity has a quality. Ideally, it flows smoothly, like a perfect wave, a sine wave, technically.
Have smooth power. Got it.
But research is showing that near big clusters of data centers, especially ones doing heavy AI work, the quality of that electricity can get messy, distorted. It's called harmonic distortion. Those smooth waves get jagged edges, basically.
Harmonic distortions. Okay. So the electricity gets bumpy. What does that actually mean for, like, my stuff at home, my fridge, my TV?
Exactly. Those bumps or noise on the power line can affect sensitive electronics. Your refrigerator motor, for example, might have to work slightly harder. It might make more noise, like a rattling or humming sound, and its lifespan could actually be shortened.
Seriously. So my fridge could die sooner because of a data center miles away.
Potentially, yes. It puts extra stress on motors and electronic components. Same goes for your washing machine, your computer's power supply, anything with complex electronics. It can make them wear out faster. A small hidden cost. And there's another issue, reliability. AI data centers need incredibly reliable power. Can't have interruptions during a massive training run.
Right. That would be bad.
So they often get built near power sources that can be turned on and off very quickly to guarantee supply. That also means natural gas plants, sometimes coal.
But not necessarily the greenest options then?
Often not, because solar and wind are variable, right?
Yeah.
Depends on the weather. It's harder to guarantee they'll be there exactly when the AI needs a huge surge of power, so it can push demand towards fossil fuels. And AI's energy use isn't smooth, especially during that training phase we talked about. It can have these moments of just massive, sudden demand,
Yeah.
way spikier than typical data center loads.
Like everyone hitting the go button at once.
Kind of, yeah. And our power grid doesn't have much slack. Supply has to match demand almost perfectly, second by second. It's like a tightrope walk. So imagine a huge chunk of demand suddenly appears,
Right.
or even disappears. Like there's an incident in Northern Virginia, a big data center hub. A lightning strike took 1,500 megawatts offline instantly.
How much is 1,500 megawatts?
That's about the power needed for all of Iceland.
The whole country again.
Yeah. And when that much load vanished instantly, the grid struggled to adapt. Causes frequency wibbles, basically, frequency deviations. If those get bad enough, it can trigger protective shutdowns elsewhere, leading to cascading failures. Think like the Texas blackouts in 2021, that kind of grid instability.
Wow. So these things are so big they can actually destabilize the power grid for everyone else.
They definitely put a strain on it, especially in areas with high concentrations of data centers.
Which makes it sound like you can't just decide to build one of these giant AI factories anywhere you want.
Not easily, no. In many places, there are long waiting lists, sometimes 4 to 7 years long, just to get a new data center connected to the grid.
Years.
Yeah, because the grid itself often needs major upgrades
Wow.
to handle that kind of concentrated load. New substations, bigger transmission lines. And communities are starting to push back too. Worries about the grid strain, the water use, the environmental impact, and the fact that these automated facilities don't actually create that many long-term local jobs.
Okay, this is sounding like a pretty big tangled mess. Huge energy needs, massive water use, straining the grid. Are people working on solutions? Like, how do we make AI greener or, I don't know, use it less?
Yeah, definitely. There are several angles people are pursuing. One idea comes from researchers like Sasha Lucioni. She talks about digital sobriety.
Digital sobriety, like stop using tech.
Not exactly stop, but be more mindful. Ask yourself, do I really need this new gadget? Or is using ChatGPT to write this email really necessary? Or can I just write it myself? Or even, can I just open the fridge door instead of asking my smart fridge what's inside?
Huh. Right. Being a conscious consumer.
Exactly. Just thinking about the impact before you click. Then there's the tech itself. Companies are working on more efficient chips. Chips based on ARM architecture, for example, are known for being power sippers. Amazon's Graviton chips, based on ARM, they claim save like 60% power compared to others. And NVIDIA's newest AI chip, called Grace Blackwell, is designed to run these big generative models using supposedly 25 times less power.
Okay, so better hardware is part of it.
A big part. Also, doing more AI tasks on your device, like directly on your smartphone or laptop, instead of sending the request to the cloud, to the data center, and back.
Like on-device AI.
Right. For each task, that saves a ton of energy because you're not using the network and the huge data center infrastructure.
And for cooling, people are developing smarter methods, like direct chip liquid cooling. Instead of trying to cool the whole room or building, You apply a tiny bit of cooling liquid right onto the surface of the hottest chips.
More targeted cooling, like putting an ice pack right where it hurts. Kind of, yeah. Uses way less water and energy than trying to chill vast amounts of air or water. Location matters too. Building data centers where power is abundant and maybe greener or cheaper, like Mesa, Arizona. Lots of sun, diverse power sources, including nuclear, hydro, natural gas, more reliable, maybe cheaper land.
So choosing the location strategically.
Definitely. And some big tech companies, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, they're even starting to invest in their own power generation.
Like building their own power plants.
Yes, sort of. Microsoft actually bought power from a nuclear reactor, 3 Mile Island, that had been shut down to help power its data centers. Others are looking at developing new, small, modular nuclear reactors or geothermal plants, specifically for their facilities.
So they can bypass the public grid sometimes.
Potentially, yeah. Or at least secure their own reliable, maybe cleaner power source.
Yeah.
And lastly, all this pressure from AI, it's actually forcing upgrades to the main electric grid. Things like building massive battery storage systems to smooth out supply and demand, and building more long-distance, high-voltage transmission lines.
Wait, batteries and better transmission lines? Aren't those the exact same things we need to make renewable energy like solar and wind work better?
Precisely. That's the fascinating part. The huge demand from AI is pushing investments in the grid infrastructure that also happens to be essential for integrating more renewables. It helps make solar and wind more reliable, more like traditional baseload power that's always available. So, in a weird way, the AI problem might be accelerating the green energy solution.
So AI creates these huge energy and water challenges, grid problems, but the sheer scale of it might actually be pushing us faster towards solutions for climate change and grid modernization. It's kind of a wild thought.
It really is a complex trade-off. There's no doubt AI's growth will increase global power demand and contribute to climate challenges, at least in the short term. But the potential upsides are also enormous. Think about AI systems like AlphaFold. It learned to predict how proteins fold a massive biological puzzle. That won Nobel recognition.
Right, that could help cure diseases.
Exactly. You could revolutionize drug discovery, understanding diseases like Alzheimer's or cancer, developing new vaccines much faster. AI is also being used to design more efficient materials, optimize energy grids, even help model climate change itself. So the challenge is finding the right balance. We as users and citizens need to push companies for more transparency. Where does the energy come from? How much water are they using? Can they reuse that water? Can they commit to renewables? Knowledge is key, right? Understanding these hidden costs allows us to make better choices and demand better practices. Critical thinking is just so important with all this new tech.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up then. So, what does this all really mean for you listening? Well, it means every time you use an AI tool, maybe save a photo to the cloud, stream a video, there's a real physical hidden environmental cost attached. It's not just invisible digital magic. It relies on these huge buildings, these incredibly powerful chips, gulping down energy and sometimes surprising amounts of fresh water. But it's also clear that the same technology holds incredible promise. It could help us solve some truly massive global problems, from curing diseases to maybe even tackling climate change. So it really leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? As AI keeps getting more powerful and more widespread, how much are we willing to invest? Not just money, but our planet's resources, energy, water, and how do we make absolutely sure those investments steer us towards a future that's better for everyone? Something to chew on maybe the next time you ask AI for an answer.